Well, hello everyone, this is CJ with Cycletron. Well, it's been a couple weeks since I posted my last video, but that time period corresponded to my 1-year channel anniversary, so I thought I'd take a look back on the last year and share some thoughts about what I see for the channel going forward. First of all, I really appreciate everyone's support. Things have gone really well relative to what I could have possibly expected on the channel. So I started the channel on July 27th, 2020. My wife started a cooking channel, and I thought, you know, it might be fun if I start a motorcycle themed channel. I really didn't know how it was going to go. Didn't have any experience with social media or making videos. Just started doing it. And if any of you have watched this channel for any length of time, you know I like all motorcycles for the most part, and I have a strong interest in business, and that's what attracts me to talking about Harley Davidson, just from a business standpoint, or more for the standpoint of what not to do in a business in general. It's just, I find it very interesting. But also I found that there's a lot of interest about Harley Davidson. I mean, perhaps not surprisingly, and to a lesser extent Indian motorcycles. So what I found was my channel really took off about 4 months after I launched it. I had done a couple of Harley themed videos, and those really took off. I mean, really surprising. And but I'm not, this isn't just a Harley channel. I'm not interested in being a Harley only channel. I don't know what I would talk about if all I talked about was Harleys. You know, if you cater to the algorithm exclusively, you hear people on YouTube talk about the algorithm, but it's the formula that dictates how a video gets presented to people for viewing and how widely it's distributed, and a bunch of metrics feed into that, and it's not really clear what those metrics are. You kind of, it's like a black box. You throw enough in to figure out how it works. But again, I'm not really interested in catering to the algorithm exclusively. I mean, it's sort of like if you follow a musical band and they do something completely different on a new album and hack off a lot of their fans because their fans expected certain content. But for an artist, and I'm not saying I'm an artist, to be healthy, they got to experiment and do different things. So my youngest son, I call him my YouTube whisperer. He's 14 now, but he has a strong interest in business, and he's tech savvy like a lot of kids are. And his advice for anybody making a YouTube channel is to make 3 types of videos. One for yourself, one for growth, and one for the fan base. Now, there's some overlap there, but there's a lot of truth to that. And if I just wanted to cater to the algorithm, I'd only make Harley related videos, at least based on the demographics and what gets advanced and what gets viewed. Maybe to a lesser extent Indian videos, but again, I have a much broader interest. And I'm not I guess the term fanboy, I didn't even know what that was until I started a channel. You know, I got accused early on of being a fanboy of various model or manufacturers of bikes, and I'm not. In fact, probably my lowest rated video was when I made some comments critical of how some Indian motorcycles are set up on a demo day that I attended. And I mean, it wasn't personal. I just thought a lot of the ergonomics were just off, and I faulted Indian for having a demo day with bikes set up weird like that. I mean, it's an observation, it's a criticism, but it's, you know, it's a take it or leave it kind of thing. I mean, the channel has got a little over 2,000 subscribers. Hit that right before the 1 year mark. It's had almost 450,000 views, which I think is a lot of views. It's like 37,000 hours of watch time, which is just unbelievable to me. So you know, you got maybe a certain responsibility to deliver what people want to watch and have content that's engaging and not really waste people's time. So I'm still fiddling with that. You know, I don't do video intros anymore. I mean, those are fine if you want to do them. I tried it for a while. I used to ask people to like and subscribe and comment. I quit doing that. I just get into the video, and maybe that's why I've got way more viewers that are non-subscribers than subscribers. And I appreciate people who do subscribe. It kind of gives me an idea how things are tracking. So to the extent that having a channel for 1 year entitles me to give any type of advice, because there's probably people out there that are thinking about starting a channel or have started a channel. You know, my wife started her cooking channel the same time I started this channel, and she gave up on it after a few months because she had 30 subscribers. She started another channel, and the same thing happened. She got 30 subscribers and hardly anybody watching. You know, a handful of people watching each video. But you know, if you start a channel, I think it's worthwhile to examine what your goals are. I mean, for me, I'm learning how to make videos. I'm learning how to present ideas. I'm engaging with interesting people in the comment section. I'm learning things. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not doing it for the money, for sure. I mean, you couldn't justify it if I were. It would make no sense. I mean, I would just work more on my job, my regular job, if it was about money. And by the same token, in terms of my viewing, I gravitate to smaller channels. And obviously, this is still a small channel. I think the smaller channels tend to be more authentic, more interesting, because the creators are experimenting more, and they're less beholden perhaps to sponsors. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, I think, even indirectly, for people who run bigger channels to be favorable about their bikes, the manufacturer, the people they're borrowing the bikes from, the gear they're reviewing. I don't have any of those constraints. I'm not saying I wouldn't accept sponsors at some point in the future. I'm not pursuing them. No one's pursuing me. I'm just doing my thing. If any of you run your own business, there's a lot of stress and hard work that goes with running your own business, but one of the perks is you can decide who you want as a customer or client and who you don't. You know, there's some people that are just too big a pain in the ass to deal with. And if you own your own show, you can just say, hey, find somebody else. I'm not doing your thing, or I'm not selling you this widget. So I think the same is true with a channel. So what do I have coming up? The 2020 Harley Roadster project that I bought wrecked at Copart is on hold right now because I can't get any replacement parts. I mean, it's been 2.5 months so far. I'm still waiting on a clutch cable, as an example. I mean, I ordered the parts the 3rd week of May. Now I'm being told sometime in September to get the rest of it. I don't even believe that. Makes you wonder how many of these parts are foreign sourced if they can't get them produced in a timely fashion. I think that's a big part of it. Now you hear things about the availability of, or unavailability of cargo shipping containers. You know, who wants to pay 50% or 100% more for a cargo container if they don't have to, assuming they've got the parts to put in the thing to ship? So I got that. I recently had experience selling a bike, so I learned some more things. There's lots of scammers out there. I've bought and sold enough motorcycles in the last few years. I've accumulated a lot of experience that I try and pass on. Getting back to the channel thing, if you're a YouTube creator and you post videos, inevitably you'll get haters. And that was something that I wasn't prepared for at the beginning. I mean, it's a symptom of a successful video to some extent. I mean, I had a video back in December that got like 40,000 views in 3 days. And you wouldn't believe the hate I got on it. And I had to take that video down, not because of the hate, but I had a technical issue, and I reposted it, and it got another 10,000 views over several weeks. But all it was me talking about how crummy the resale was on my Harley-Davidson Street Glide Special. And why that would elicit such a negative reaction is beyond me, but I've kind of weeded those people out. I mean, I could take constructive criticism, but if people are just being gratuitous and insulting, I just I jet them out of there. Going back to the client selection thing, don't need it. I don't want negativity on the channel. To the extent I can handle criticism, and I welcome criticism, but not just stupid negativity. And I'd say a lot of that's weeded out on the channel by now. But I wasn't prepared for it at the beginning. It really bothered me. I mean, I have to admit, I'm kind of a sensitive person. As I get older, I develop better coping skills for things like that. But, you know, to paraphrase Marcus Aurelius regarding criticism, he said if they knew him better, they'd have way more things to criticize about. Which I think is a good take on it. But again, I'm having fun. I knew I was hitting on something that might work when there's another motorcycle channel. I'm not going to mention who it is. But they had, based on subscriber count, they're 2 to 3 orders of magnitude bigger than my channel, and they started ripping off my content. I mean, no doubt ripping off my content. And I thought, wow, is that the goal, to grow a channel to be so big that you run out of ideas, so you're poaching content off a small creator, figuring nobody's gonna notice anyway? So it's like, whatever. Now, I will shout out to a couple people, and I know I'm not going to get to everyone, so if I don't, please don't misunderstand. But I mentioned I'm watching other channels, growing channels. I mean, similar to mine. My Motor Rod, I engage with him a lot in the comments. Easy Rider Greg, Salty and Sprinkles. I really like watching those channels, and enjoy engaging with folks in the comment section. Easy Rider Greg reached out to me because he liked one of my videos. It was about riding as you age, and he said, hey, would it be okay if I basically do the same video but with my take? I'm like, yeah, go for it. And he put a link to my video, and I returned the favor after he posted his. I thought that was a really classy way to handle things. And I'm thinking, you know, that'd be nice if the big channel that was borrowing the content, as it were, had a similar ethic, but they don't. So I guess it's the Wild West on the internet. Can be. But been really weird times. People I deal with in my business life are just getting harder and harder to deal with. I don't know what it is, and I'm finding myself really needing to ride to clear my head. The mindful activity, the focus on what you're doing when you're riding it, all that stuff recedes in the background, and I really need to get on the bike a few times a week to clear my head. So I like to talk about those aspects of motorcycle riding. My youngest has graduated to riding an MT-03. He refused to study for his permit. In my state, you got to get your driving permit, and then you pass that test, then you can get your motorcycle permit. I kept telling him to study, he wouldn't do it. I said, fine, I'll just take you up there. You could fail the test, and then you'll know what to study for. And so what's he do? He passes both tests on the first try. So now he thinks he's just good to go to ride anywhere along with me. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. So we're doing things like I'm leading, and if his older brother can follow on his motorcycle behind him, he's fully licensed, he will. Sometimes my wife will ride behind my youngest son or drive her car behind him to run interference. So developing another kid into a motorcyclist if they're interested, and he is so far. So I might have some updates about that. So I'm really having a lot of fun. If you have some thoughts about the channel, things you would like to see in the future, ideas for how I could improve either the content or presentation, please let me know. I'll definitely consider any feedback that you might offer. Getting back to the idea of mixing it up on the channel, I mean, when I get an idea for a video, I write it down in a notebook, and then sometimes things hit me and I just gotta get that video down right away, and others I go back through my notebook and see what I was thinking about. So I usually have way more ideas ahead of me than I have time to produce. You know, my goal is to produce about a video a week. I've produced over 80 videos in a year. This last 3-week stretch has been the longest since maybe 6 months ago I've gone without posting a video, but again, the average is about once a week. So again, thanks everyone for the support you're providing to the channel, and look forward to talking with you soon.